Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to fit this little beauty. So this is a heat shield, carbon fibre heat shield, to try and save the shock basically from the heat from the cat. So this is made by a company called P3 Carbon in America. This is like really nice quality. You can see the thickness if it'll focus. Nice solid piece. So this is to try and deflect some of the heat from the cat away from the shock. So as if you own a Norden or an 890 or even a 790, you'll probably see online stuff about shocks blowing and whatnot, and oil leaking from them. So you've got very little room in there between your cat and your shock. So that's going to sit in here and fill this gap. It's one of the few complaints I had about the bike from the get-go. Especially, I got the bike at the end of summer, sort of coming into winter, and in the heat you can definitely feel the heat from the cat on your legs, you know, radiating out of this area up to your legs. So this should shield a little bit of that as well. But yeah, obviously, you know, ruining your rear shock is a bit of a concern. I don't think it's going to be a massive issue here in the UK because we don't get the scorching temperatures, but nevertheless there's no harm in protecting from something like that. So the tools you're going to need to install the heat shield: 4-inch drive, 3/8 drive, doesn't matter too much. Ratchets, you're going to need 10mm socket, a T30 Torx bit, a T45 Torx bit, depending on where your exhaust clamp is and if you want to adjust where it's going to be just for accessibility. Potentially wobbly socket or universal joint, a couple of extensions just to make life a little bit easier, but not absolutely vital. So yeah, not much tooling needed for this. So it's only held on with one bolt, but we need to take a few things off to get to it first. Then we've got the sort of Velcro 3M sticky bit at the front. So to install a heat shield, what we're going to need to do is take off the chain guard. Just straightforward, 3 bolts, chain guard will come off. You could do this on a side stand or a paddock stand. I'm using a con stand. I find it nice and easy. I can move the bike around. I can have the bike at whatever height I want. So whatever suits you. But obviously on the side stand, the bike's going to be leant over towards you, so it just makes things a little bit more awkward. So I recommend putting on a centre stand or side stand or con stand, something similar to that. Get a nice working position. Make life as easy as you can for yourself. So we're going to take the chain guard off. That should give us enough room to wiggle the heat shield into the gap. We're going to remove the chain guard, which is a couple of T30 screws. So we're going to take it off now. So once you've taken your chain guard off, it's also quite a good opportunity to clean inside or top of the swing arm, where you wouldn't normally be able to get to. So I've literally ridden once or twice since I last took the chain guard off and cleaned, and I cleaned the bike quite thoroughly, and you can see the amount of dirt that gets missed. So it's a good opportunity to clean that. And then what is also really important to clean, so I use ACF 50 to protect my bike as much as I can. The heat shield uses like a Velcro, it's like a double-sided Velcro to attach at this point at the top. So this little cross member coming across here on your frame, this top side of the this top surface needs to be squeaky clean. Mine's currently covered in ACF 50, so I'm going to use alcohol, any degreaser, alcohol-based substance should be fine to clean it. So you need to get in there with a rag, give that a really good clean, because if you don't clean it, that self-adhesive tape, that's not going to stick. So clean it up nice and good, and then we'll show you getting the heat shield in place. So next part you're going to want to do is, we've cleaned all this up now, so it's ready to stick on, nice and clean surface. We need to take this bolt out, attaching the catalytic converter to the frame. And be careful when you take this out. There's a little top hat spacer that goes on there, you don't want to drop that. So once everything's cleaned up, you're going to want to slide this into position. It's quite hard to get the camera in a position, so hopefully this is okay and it's going to show what you need to do. You'll get a rough gist of it. So this section, I don't know how well you can see, this section where the bolt goes through, it's not going to overlap on the outside. It's going to go between the frame and the cat. At the moment they're quite tight, hard against each other. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put this in position, and then you're going to need to use a small pry bar or a flat blade screwdriver just to get in this gap here, and just to push the cat across just enough to get this thickness in. Before we feed it in, we're going to take the double-sided tape off. So this is like a self-adhesive Velcro, like a double-sided Velcro. So we're going to feed this in. And get into position so that hopefully you guys can see. We're going to now get this piece to slide between the frame and the shock. So we use a flat blade screwdriver, come in from below here, and we're just going to hold the heat shield. We're going to just pry the frame and the cat apart just enough to get this in the gap. So now let's sit down nicely into that gap. Now what you want to do is look down this hole, probably need a little torch. We'll look down this hole where the cat bolt goes through. Use a small screwdriver just to line everything up. So it just needs to go down a little bit more. Have a look down this hole. Make sure everything's lined up. It needs to go down just a touch more. So you want to get this as spot on as you can. So when you put your bolt through, you're not going to struggle getting the bolt through. It's just little adjustments at a time. So now looking down there, I can see the thread nicely. The carbon piece isn't blocking its path, so I'm going to wind the bolt back in. So put the little top hat in. That slides in. You slide your bolt in. Always try and start everything by hand first before you put a tool on it. Then you go grab your 10mm. This might need a little bit of force inwards just to get it to pick up on the threads. Now this bolt isn't tight yet, and this heat shield is just pretty solid, so the bolt's started, and what we're going to do is push down on that top piece where we've cleaned, where the double-sided is. A good push down, that's going to stick to the frame. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. This doesn't need to be super tight. That's absolutely solid in there. You see, it's going to just deflect some of that heat from the catalytic converter away from the shock, hopefully prolonging the life of your shock. So once it's done, all you got left to do is basically the reverse of removing the chain cover. So that's just 3 bolts. Like I say, take the opportunity to get in there, give it a bit of a clean, and away you go. You got heat shield fitted. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. I plan on doing some more onboard videos. I've been playing with mic setup. I haven't got it quite right yet. I've had a couple of attempts, and I'm not happy with the audio quality, so just tweaking little things at the moment. I'm going to do a sort of a should I buy an adventure bike type video. I'm going to explain how I've come from road riding to buying a sort of a mid to heavy adventure bike, how I've got on with it, how I've got on with the transition, why I made the decision. So I'm going to stick that all in a video. I want that to be like an onboard rather than a static me walking around the bike. If there's any questions you guys have about the Norden or about the switch from road to off-road, or not off-road as such, green laning, adventure riding, if you're in that position where you're looking at doing that, drop some comments in the down below, and I'll do my best to answer them.